Let's give Brianna and Thomas another hand clap. That concludes our 2009 Reverend Major E. Smith Scholarship applicants. Please join us Saturday, June 27th, to find out who our recipients would be. Now we come to the portion where we're going to have our 2009 John and Lou Dora Ruff Scholarship applicants present their oratorical presentations. This scholarship is a new one for Union Grace. The Ruff family joined the church back in 1964 when we were still at 7729 Rosa Parks. They joined under Reverend Major E. Smith. And as such, the family just, in their hearts, wanted to give back to the church and help our members out, our young people out. And actually, they didn't even put an age stipulation on this scholarship. It was just to whoever was going back and trying to finish their college education, whether they were a young person or whether they were an older person. In particular, the requirements they set were for, of course, the student to be a member of Union Grace, to have a 3.0 GPA scale for the 2008-2009 school year, for them also to be attending a 2 or 4 year college or university, and to major or their programs should fall under business, education, technology, medicine, or theology. As such, the applicants were asked to fill out the application, provide us with a college transcript, and other documentation that was needed. We do have 2 applicants this year, that being Sharon Whitaker and Kalisa Jones. These 2 young ladies will present on the essay topic that was given to both of them, which was, if you had all the resources in the world, what would you do to help your community? First up, we'll have Sharon Whitaker.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Sharon Whitaker. I am 19 years old, and I just completed my first year at Hampton University. Today, I am here to share my thoughts on this year's scholarship topic being, if you had all the resources in the world, what would you do to help your community? When first approached with this question, I thought to myself, now what possible answer could I conjure up that wouldn't sound silly, fake, or cliche? After thinking through idea after idea, I realized that when you give back to the community, it should be something done out of pure kindness and generosity, and not for fame and applause. A fabricated answer might win a competition, but would you really enjoy making your idea come to pass if you had the opportunity? After thinking these things through, I came up with an idea that I could definitely see myself doing if given the opportunity. I figured, what better way to give back to the community than give back to the children living there? If you hear all the time, the children are our future, and I believe in this saying, which helped me ignite an idea that would help and inspire our community children. Now my working with all the resources in the world, so my idea might seem a little far-fetched, but nothing is too big when it comes to our children. I look back at my childhood and I ask myself, what made me such a happy camper as a kid? And one of those things was sports. As athletics has always been a major role in my life since the fourth grade, and I want to give back something I had as a child that children might not be able to experience today. Yes, I know children have sports teams in schools, and they can participate in, teams at their school, but even school sports are hindering children from playing the sports they love. By the time I was in the 7th grade, my school district was charging students a fee to be officially a part of a team. It seemed as if the price steepened every year until I graduated high school. Making children pay to play, in my opinion, is stealing away their right to be involved in an activity that keeps them focused and out of trouble. During my senior year of high school, the pay-to-play fee was $200 for 1 or more sports. I was lucky enough to have parents that could provide those funds, but I know many families who can't afford for their children to play a sport in school because of this overpriced fee. This financial flaw in some school systems might be the reason why so many of our youth find interest in other things such as drugs, sex, and alcohol. To compensate for the lack of consideration of less fortunate families, I would like to give back by formulating a summer sports camp to those children who are hindered by the pay-to-play system. In my essay, I went on to explain how the camp would be a 6-week program sponsored by a different athlete each week. I also mentioned that many of our minority youth are so focused on only 2 sports, being basketball and football. This usually is the case only because they seem to excel in these areas, but also because other sports come with an expensive cost that many families can't afford. The summer camp would consist of 6 sports, including basketball, football, baseball, swimming, soccer, and tennis. This camp introduces children to a world of sports that they might never think of participating in. The camp will be a childhood dream for children who can never imagine being able to participate in such a positive and fun environment. As I thought more about the topic at hand, I realized with all the resources in the world, so much could be changed to improve our community, especially in these economic times. I feel that the summer sports camp is much needed in less fortunate communities because all children deserve the opportunity to experience an athletic lifestyle without the burden of money. Although the primary focus of this camp will benefit the children, we can never forget about our community parents. Helping the children in the community would not be effective if the parents are not being helped as well. All of us know that economic times are hard, especially for the African American community. Parents are stressed out about loss of jobs and unemployment, paying their mortgages, and what necessities they need to live a comfortable life. The need of a child's athletic activity expenses come last when a parent has to worry about economic issues that affect the family. With every resource at hand, I would make it possible that camp would not be another monetary burden for our parents. Even though sports are important in our adolescents' life, academics play the most dynamic role. With every resource at my disposal, I would implement and perfect the No Child Left Behind campaign. For those of you who are unaware of this plight, this campaign simply advocates that students remain on an educational venture, stay in school, and take education just as serious as their extracurricular activities. I would make it my personal objective to make sure that every teacher, assistant, and adjunct will be used in any effective way possible to benefit the youth. This would include after-school study sessions, academic achievement awards, as well as on-call tutors. These selected individuals will be motivated to teach and assist so they can motivate the children. I believe that today's youth lack a sense of self-motivation, which becomes critical in the transition to adulthood. While questioning my grandmother, she expressed to me how different it was when she and how self-motivation was not an option, but a necessity. I firmly believe that with a strong education, so many venues will begin to unfold for our children. With the monetary resource, I would purchase and distribute new books, school supplies, and uniforms to those who are in dire need. I also want the children to become extremely comfortable with the new technology that is currently affecting our community. I would configure a program that helps children's computer skills, laptop usage maintenance, the internet browsing to be enhanced and placed in positive ways instead of being cloaked by the negativities of society. When put into perspective, the issue of sports and academics, one can really begin to witness how these two entities affect not only our community, but our youth. That's why, if given all the resources in the world, I will focus every ounce of my efforts towards improving the youth and the community that surrounds them. This will begin with the athletics, formulating a monetary-free sports camp that will enhance the youth's activity, keeping them out of trouble, and also giving them a small stepping stone to not be afraid of becoming involved. After that goal is met in its entirety, I will then tackle the issue of academics within the community. This will include being at the root level of sufficient teachers, motivated individuals, and technologically sound people. We can say all day what we would do with all the resources in the world, but we all know that our greatest resource is God, and with Him we can do anything.